Dear friends, dear supporters, and channel visitors, today I will be talking about Chen and their latest GN Flying Cloud. Um, I will show you the Flying Cloud on my cell phone. Hopefully, you can see it. I'll be focusing mostly on the handle. The design itself is beautiful. It's a long GN with a very well uh, made scabbard with brass strips on each side, making it cavalry even friendly. But my main issue is not going to be with the forging or the linings of the scabbard or the visual aspect of the GN, but the choice for the handle. It's rayskin wrapped in a cord. Okay, so that's my main critique of the design. It will feel great in the hand. Uh, don't think that it will not. But I've handled a ton of katana over the years, and that cordage, even if it's made from the best cord material ever, covering the best well sewn panels of Samigawa, it's bound to come apart. Um, I propose a better way of doing this. If somebody is serious about handling this GN and worrying about the handle, well, first it has to be lightly oiled. The wooden core has to receive a lot of good oil inside to maintain its strength and not becoming over dried or cracking to be able to absorb more kinetic energy. So comes um, uh, for the rayskin part of the handle. The rayskin can dry out, and lightly oiled rayskin will last longer. The cordage, even if it breaks, you could self-replicate it after some research and probably would achieve a fairly decent way of doing it. But there is a beauty to a hardwood handle with carvings, providing the traction for your hand and having less points of failure, which is very important for sword handling. And when I speak about swords, I don't speak about things that stay on display and just meant to be a party subject or um, anything of this nature. I always view swords for what they're meant to do, for cutting, for being reliable, for being the right extension of the person's handle. And we cannot overrate the importance of the handles because that is the terminal, that is the way that we connect with the blade. If the handle is having issues, if that cord gets a bit loose, if anything gets out of line, it will affect the person's ability to wield the sword. Simple things of doing that, for example, were made in um, ancient northern cultures. Simple uh, usage of cord of made from, sorry about the camera issues, cord made from leather. This is very well put together. It's probably super glued or epoxy glued to the handle. It's less likely to come loose from survival situations or when you actually have to use the blade to its max ability. Even using something like the modern United States way of creating handles for the kabar knives, those leather spacers, if they're well oiled, micro waxed, they provide great grip and they could resist elements very well. And of course, I understand that LK Chen always try to go for historical samples. They don't focus as much on the fantasy aspect of the blade. They try to bring forth the actual historical samples. So I've seen lots of people giving it like 5 out of 5 stars and praising the scabbard, praising the balance, praising the blade used, the forging, The handle, though, hasn't been getting as much um, analysis. And I wanted to throw this out there for you. So if you're looking for a longer uh, GN that is possible to be used well with two hands, to also pay attention to what the handle is made from, what the cordage is made from, um, what the underlying race skin is made from. Is it a thin, chip type of race skin? Is it a thicker, better quality one? Are they well sewn around the handle, or are they being held by the cord? So you have possibly good questions to ask LK Chen. I also wanted to show you off my Nightingales t-shirt because, man, it's awesome. I'm a huge fan of melodic death metal from Sweden and Germany and other European countries, so I hope you enjoyed that little bit piece of it. I will be talking more about swords. I have some very good samples I would like to share with you, such as the Kinjal blades I have received from Cult of Athena. It's not higher tier, but it's not low tier. It let it remain a mystery until my next dive, because diving into Kinjal history, I have to speak of Caucasus mountain tribes, I have to speak of Shashka, I have to speak of a lot of different historical topics that shaped the size of the dagger. This is my cat Vasi here. He's my almost constant companion. I also have another short sword to share with you, Baklanov's Shashka from Cult of Athena. This is my training Shashka. It's a bit unwieldy. It has a thicker blade. It's been uh, well sharpened by Cult of Athena. They've done a very good symmetric job. It's not the best, but actually, if you look at old Shashka, Shashki, just Shashkis, whichever way you want to call them, from 19th century, this actually doesn't look as bad as some of the official M1881 patterns adopted by the Tsarist military of that time. So for 200 something dollars, I have received a decent Shashka, which is also made from 1060 and has a spring temper, is very well uh, sharpened both sides of the blades, and I've been honing the blade with a ceramic stick for the past 2 weeks. So that's not a sword I'd like to talk to you about. There are lots of real topics that come up in this channel soon enough. I have developed a very interesting way of creating a brand new sling for a shashka using a modern, let's say, veterans made brand rifle sling and some gym equipment like the strips of strong synthetic materials with O-rings and using carbons to mount it together. So that's also coming up on this channel. It's a really good DIY project and creates a much more reliable sling for a shashka than some of the examples I have come across with, let's say, from the beginning of 20th century, pre-World War One. Those leather shashka slings had only um, a simple iron buckler, and the rest of the metal parts were made out of tin, and the leather was quite thin, and the kind of shashka sling you can make for yourself could really outperform anything of that era, besides some maybe specifically made officers' pieces. So right, I'll keep this video short. I wanted to point out a couple of things about the new LK Chen that you may want to consider. Generally, I've had very good relationship with him, with them. I especially appreciate the Tatsu katana that they have made for me, using old school polish and full wrap of semigava around the handle while keeping the wooden core thin enough not to create an X-like handle. That sword, for the money I paid for, was one of the best katana I have. It's along with the top two other ones, which I will speak about more lately. I have partnered with Hanban Forge to create somewhat of a fantasy sword about Musashi, but it's based on real evidence I have gathered from the museums and from my in-depth analysis of the writings left by Musashi. So this is the kind of sword that doesn't scream, "Hey, I'm a shining sword. Look at all of the fittings." It has that humbleness to it, and it has also all the practicality that Musashi would want in the battle blade, especially at the end of Sengoku Jidai. So stay tuned to my channel. If there's anything in particular you want to hear about or interested about, please put it in your comments. It's been a pleasure saying hi to you all, and I hope your day goes well. I suppose it's time to stop the recording, and we'll talk to you soon again. Thank you.